Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another day of Veda. Woo woo! I think I'm crazy. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm doing yet another TBR video because why the heck not? So Sarah from Wicked Reading, who also does the horror book reading challenge, or reading bingo, yeah, that one, she made another one, and who am I if I'm not jumping on that bandwagon too, right? So I'm gonna be real with you. I did change one section of her board because I'm not a fantasy or a sci-fi reader that much, but I had enough sci-fi on my board to pick 5 books. So then fantasy, like, I didn't have any of those prompts because those did not speak to me. This is like broad reader horror reading challenge or reading bingo, and I'm usually start right here and go across like you're reading a book, but each section going down is a different genre because you're trying to read more broadly. So I'm gonna go down the sections because that makes the most sense to my brain. So the first section is horror, and there are 5 different prompts. So let's just jump right in. So horror, disability rep. I did not see anything on my physical TBR with disability rep in the horror genre, so I looked on my digital collection and I have Gone to See the Riverman. I've heard that this is terrifying and I'm not exactly sure what I'm expecting from it, but I'm gonna go in very, very blind. Then one word title. For that, I'm gonna read Mocha by Monica Kim. I loved The Eyes Are the Best Part by this author, which was her debut, I believe. This follows people in Tokyo, Seoul, South Korea, right? And at this IT department, or in this workplace, it just says unassuming workplace, someone has left surveillance cameras in the bathroom and in other places that you would expect privacy. I don't know anything else about this book, but I was sold. I'm like, invasion of privacy? Like, that is terrifying because I always wonder, I always look over my shoulder, like, is someone following me? Is someone watching me? Then we have chapter titles. For that, I'm going to read A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. I don't know a whole lot about this other than cannibalism. The prompt is bright colors on the cover. It was neon colors, but Sarah said you could do bright colors. So, even though it is a black cover, there's like pink and red and more pink. So I'm going to say that this is bright colors on the cover. It's, Rachel Harrison is really known to be a cozy horror novel or cozy author. And I read one book by her, and I don't think at the time I understood it or cared. I was very bored by it because it's a very slow simmering horror, but I think that's what Rachel Harrison does, is slow simmer horror. This is a werewolf novel. Then we have Isolated Setting. I'm not gonna lie to you, this one has changed like 4 times. So if I don't actually use this book for this prompt, it's okay. we'll just forgive and forget. But as of right now, I'm thinking Delicate Condition by Danielle Valentine. This is a mother horror. Like, this is mama horror, which I like. It's about her, I don't remember her name. Anna is desperate to have a family. She's tried IFV, nothing's worked. And now the doctor, I think IFV finally worked, and the doctor said that she lost her baby, and everyone says that she's going crazy, but she's like, no, there's still a baby in there. And I don't know, I think it's gonna mess with my mind, but I am excited for that. If it's not Delicate Condition, I still want to read Delicate Condition, but if for some reason I don't get to it, then it's gonna be Camp Slaughter. All right, our next column going down is sci-fi, non-human POV. So I need some recommendations for non-human POV. That's sci-fi, I guess. If I don't find something, I might just skip this prompt. Unusual Time. For Unusual Time, I'm gonna pick Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. This follows a trad wife, like a traditional wife. She's a stay-at-home mom and everything like that. But then somehow, I think she's an influencer too. I don't remember. But she gets pulled to the 1800s. Morning, she wakes up in a life that isn't hers. Her home, her husband, her children, they're all familiar but wrong. Her kitchen is warmed by a sputtering fire rather than electricity. Her children are dirty and strange, and her soft-handed husband is suddenly a competent farmer. Ooh, okay, so it is 1855. Then we have First Contact. For that, I'm going to be reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. It's First Contact with Aliens, I am assuming. Then another sci-fi that has a game or a competition element. For that, I'm going to be reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. And I have no idea what I'm saying because, like, what? Who is she? What? I don't know. Is that like a video game adventure style sci-fi world? I don't know, but everyone is talking about it. And did I fall into the hype? I definitely did. So there's that. I don't need judgment right now, okay? And then Sky on the cover. For a sci-fi with Sky on the cover, to me, it looks like it's like the sky is opening up and we're getting light from the sky. So, not a traditional sky, but I'm gonna count it. This is Wool by Hugh Howey. This is a sci-fi post-apocalyptical world. And now we're on Mix It Up. Mix it. Mix it, mix it up, mix it, mix it, mix it up. It just means that you can use any kind of genre that you need or want for this. At least that's how I took it. So, mix it up, genre blend. For this, I'm going to be reading This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. I heard it's thriller horror novel. I thought it was more horror than thriller, but I'm being told that it's very like literary fiction horror with a little bit of thriller. So I'm not entirely sure what this is. I just got it because Ashley Winstead is a queen, BIPOC author. And for this, I am terrified because I've read another book by this author and I DNF'd it because I didn't like it. So we have The Bewitching by Sylvia Marino Garcia. I don't know what this is. I'm pretty sure you follow 3 generations of women, that they're witches and they're related somehow. I'm nervous for this one. Then 2026 release. So this one I just got in April's Book of the Month box. This is Nothing Tastes as Good by Luke Dumas. This is more of a, I thought it was a thriller, but I'm told that it's a horror novel about like diet culture and losing weight and how it's like the social commentary aspect about what's like to be bigger in America specifically, but also like how people judge you because you're trying to make better choices, trying to get healthy. Historical fiction, a historical book. Technically all of them could change, but I'm really locked in and focused on the other ones. These ones I'm just like about. But for historical book, I'm gonna read The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlain, because Diane Chamberlain is queen of historical books. Then A Friend Rec. I'm just using like a booktube rec because when this everyone was talking about this, I told myself I'm not gonna read it because it follows wealthy characters and it's like eat the rich trope, and I'm really nervous for Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, but everyone has read this book, so I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon. I changed this section. It is fantasy on Sarah's bingo board. I changed it because I don't have enough fantasy books to make fantasy happen. So, for me, I picked romance. And I kept most of the prompts are the same, if not similar. But I did have to just tweak a couple of things to make romance work for me. Because at the end of the day, it's my reading, and I don't read fantasy. I have a couple of fantasy books that I dip my toes in every once in a while, but like I'm not a fantasy girly. I'm sorry. So, for me, I will tell you which prompts I've changed. Obviously, I've changed the genre. I've changed it to romance. Finish a 3+ book series. So for that, I'm gonna read the Hoop series by Kennedy Ryan. There's Long Shot, Block Shot, Hook Shot, and Rebound. So there's 4 books, although there's 3 books in this trilogy, and then there's a novella at the end. So I have 4 books for this one prompt. It's some kind of sports romance. It's basketball, but really it's Kennedy Ryan. This one I did change. This one was weapon on the cover. I don't have any romance books that have weapons on them. Oh, see? So Block Shot, Long Shot, and the other one. I don't own the other one yet, but it's okay. And then I changed weapon on the cover to food on the cover because I enjoy a romance that is centered around food. I don't know what that says about me, but this is The Baking Games by Rachel Hanna. There's cake, there's cookies, there's lots of food on here. There's even like batter. So this definitely counts. I think it's like a cooking show about like bake wars and like cupcake wars, but book form. 500-page book. I did not change that one. I was going to. I don't own this book, but the audiobook is 25 hours long, so I'm assuming it's longer than 500 pages. If I'm wrong, then excuse me, but Gonna listen to Consider Me by Becca Mack. I believe this is a romantic suspense, and I think that there's hockey in it. That's all I know. Then this one I also changed. It is an assassin or warrior main character, but again, I'm not really a fantasy girly, so I changed that to paranormal main character. And I actually had 2 books as options for this, but I ended up going with My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. A vampire, if you didn't know, is paranormal. I think that it's like roommates to lovers. I think it's romantic comedy, which romantic comedy is great for me. Paranormal romance is very much outside my comfort zone. Then we have Elements on the cover. I did change that one a little bit because it says elemental word in the title. I put element on the cover because I have the best book for this, and I have Not Your Average Hot Guy by Gwenda Bond. That's fire. And like Sarah in her video said, you could use fire, water, air, what's the other one? I don't know. I'm not being able to think, but you could also use like iron or gold or anything from periodic table, you know? But there's fire, and I really need to read this because I put this on a million TBRs and I still have yet to read it. So if I don't read it, then I just need to unhaul it. To the actual bingo board, I'm sorry, I really had to change it because fantasy is not my go-to. So instead, I did romance, which is one of my go-tos. So our last section going down is literary fiction. For literary fiction, the first prompt was award winner. So I'm going to be reading The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I believe that this won 2 literary awards. One is just Goodreads Best Mystery Thriller, which is funny. I mean, not funny, like funny haha, but funny ironic. It's actually a literary fiction book with a mystery at its core, but I don't think it's actually like a mystery thriller. It's like lit fic with a mystery. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. So you follow this girl at the summer camp who goes missing, and what happened to her, and she's chunky. Okay, then we have a classic literary fiction. For that, I'm going to read The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is a classic dystopian about women's rights being taken away. I mean, that's putting it very lightly. My cover pick is Before You Knew My Name by Jacqueline Bublitz. Again, this has been on all the TBRs as well, and I still haven't read it. But she may be dead. That doesn't mean her story is over. I heard it's very literary, and it's about this girl named Alice who moved to New York on her 18th birthday, and just a month later, she's dead. And I think you get her perspective after she died. Unusual format for a literary fiction. I don't know how this is unusual, but I ChatGPT'd it, and I know that ChatGPT doesn't always work. So if this does not fit for unusual format, then forgive me. Okay? But this is Sacrificial Animals by Kaylee Patterson. I don't know how it's told in a weird way, but it said the way it's told is unusual. So, I don't know. And then the last one is Coming of Age. How Will I Know You by Jessica Treadway. This follows a girl that dies. I think her name is Jill. and joy, and her body is found. But I think that you kind of get her story from her perspective. Like, she's the narrator of what happened to her life, I believe. But that is going to be my broad reader bingo TBR. Like I said, I'm not locking really anything in, but especially the Diane Chamberlain and the Sylvia Moreno Garcia books. Everything else, most everything on this TBR, I'm very excited for, though. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, and I will see you tomorrow for another day of Veda.